This
right?
has been truly, I look at my Instagram. It's my favorite thing to do. And to see you on Instagram and all your beautiful, I mean, Chiara, your shots are just beautiful. And to see you in real life,
Oh my
it's
gosh,
like you're
thank
even
you
better.
so much.
You're even better.
Thank you. I
I have
appreciate
had
it.
more fun interviewing you powerful, incredible, motivated, passionate Houston women who are making such an impact in social media. I mean, so many people are like, going to Hollywood and everything. No, right here in Houston, you have made such an incredible influence on. I know you have followers all over. How many followers do you have now, Chiara?
Right, it's just over 60,000. Yeah.
How did this all begin for a precious young lady from Canada who is a ballerina making her way to Houston?
I know, right? Well, wow, that's like longer than the segment for sure. But I did come here because my husband's work is here. So that is definitely what drew me here.
Many of us did,
Yes,
didn't we?
definitely. And I was dancing in Houston when I first moved here.
Like with the Houston Ballet?
Not with the Houston Ballet. They're amazing. I love them. I danced with the Houston Grand Opera
Wow.
and with Dominic Walsh Dance Theater, which was the contemporary dance company here in Houston. And he's like
Incredible.
super talented. He would bring in like incredible dancers from around the world as well. And I was just like, right place, right time. They needed somebody. So I was really lucky there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Houston was good. You got here 6 years ago.
Yes.
A lot of
Just
people,
about.
right? 6
Like
years.
2013?
Yeah. Okay. All right. When I got here 35 years ago, Houston was not the Houston that it is today. So you get here from Canada and you're thinking, oh, this is a pretty sweet city, which it is. But it's been a long time coming. We have really evolved and changed into this beautiful multicultural city that you now experience. And I know you love it, right?
Definitely. I love Houston. I love that it does remind me a lot of times of where I grew up, which is Toronto, Canada.
Ah, Toronto.
Yeah. Toronto's great. And I came to the U.S. for college and really wanted to go to the South because I preferred the warmer weather.
Mm-hmm.
So I was chasing the beach, and that led me to Florida. And that's where I met my husband. And moving over to Houston, he was really, when I would come visit in Houston, he would take me to like these restaurants and all these really nice places. I'd be like, look how great Houston is. Like, you could totally be here. You're going to love it. And so I would look around. I'm like, yeah, I think this could work. And I want to be in a city. So
That's so
so
cool.
I just we just took the plunge and just moved over.
So you were dancing when you got to Houston, so that worked
Yes.
out really great. That probably helped you love our city
Yeah.
more and get connected.
Definitely.
But then an injury kind of sidelined you.
Yes. So I'd been having this kind of reoccurring I don't know if it's like exactly an injury, but just my whole life, like my hips have always just been a little out of alignment, a little like I always had to do physical therapy and massages to just keep everything proper and like correct in the
yeah.
right position, especially because ballet is so demanding. And just after, getting older, continually having to audition for parts or for, companies and shows, kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, like how much longer can I compete against like 19-year-olds or 20-year-olds? Not compete, but how much longer can you really continue doing this,
Withstand,
being
yeah.
in pain, which
Yeah.
isn't always fun. It's not great to wake up and be like, okay, now let's do a 45-minute warm-up routine just so I can move, like dance today and like do
Wow.
this and be somewhat happy with like my performance or like how I'm doing. And I just started to get I just wanted like that next step or that next thing to happen in my life. And teaching isn't one of my like huge passions. And that's usually what ballet dancers do. Like after
Right.
they're
You know
done
Lauren
performing.
Anderson, the prima
Yes,
ballerina?
I love her.
Oh my gosh.
I've had her as a teacher, like
she's
for a few
amazing.
classes. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when teaching isn't like exactly what you want to do, and you still feel like I don't want to just, not like you're not even 30 yet, and you're like I don't want to just start teaching, and that's like the rest of my life. Like I feel
Right.
so planned out, and I like to be more spontaneous. I also majored in communication while I was in college, so I said I want to continue what I'm doing like in the media aspect and just like change direction and go that way. And it's so different because, going from a kind of, I mean, to me, it's all an art form. And maybe that's why it comes through in my photos that are just a little bit different or.
They're beautiful.
Thank
they
you.
really are.
But it's always been about communication.
Okay.
Ballet is just nonverbal.
Mhm,
And now this is verbal.
So you go, okay, I was ballerina. I was performing in front of audiences. Now you've got thousands and thousands of people through your pictures. You don't really see them. But
Right.
how did so you said, I'm just going to be an influencer. Is that what you thought you would do?
No,
How did
no,
it
no.
actually start?
So it actually began with me wanting to be in media and work for magazines and work in that direction, which I had
Like as a model or a
no,
writer?
no, as a writer,
Okay.
like more like journalist, just anything in media that I could kind of either interview people or put my thoughts out there. And my resume was all dance,
Yeah.
with the exception of like the communication major and some internships, but those were also in the arts. So I realized, like, who is going to hire me? Like, I'm going to do an internship at 28. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work out. So I just started my own magazine, in a sense of like the blog, and started writing. I started trying to, I did an internship with a heavy metal magazine here in Houston. And I think they're mainly online now as well, but they were in print too. And because I was just saying yes to so many opportunities that I thought would help me like on this journey and just give me experience, because I kind of needed to do like the fast track course since I'd been so focused on dancing for so long. And that then I started kind of to develop, like figure out what I wanted to do, what I wanted to say, who I wanted to be in that sense of like, what's my message? Because it takes, some people know right away and some people are just like figuring themselves out, because I was transitioning, like my whole identity was dance, ballet, like that whole world was all I knew for a long time. And
See, this is what I've learned from our influencers here in the city. There was always a struggle that you went through to get to where you are now, which is a place of passion and peace and purpose. And you're newly married, right? And were you not married then?
No. We engaged.
Okay, you were engaged. All right. So, but you're in a new city. You're no longer doing what you grew up doing. You're like, and I've got to do something. And I'm putting myself way out of my comfort zone.
Oh, definitely.
And so you worked so hard to get to something. How did you come up with what your mission statement was going to be? And what is your mission statement? Like, what are you thinking?
I know, right? That's like... So my mission statement is and this is obviously after going back and forth with seeing like what the industry has become, especially in the influencer, segment. And mine is really more for inspiration. I do want to show Houston, like how beautiful Houston is as well. And that's why I like search out specific locations, because people don't like think of Houston as like a beautiful city. Like a lot of people think that they have to, even in like the influencer world, it's like you need to fly somewhere to shoot content for the fall or because we don't have fall and people want to see leaves in your photos, We
have leaves in our city.
We have leaves. And obviously that's a great strategy and it works in terms of like business strategies. But I did starting last year or maybe 2 years ago, wanted to start really highlighting some really interesting spots in Houston. There is beauty. It's not just, like corporate or oil and gas and the med center, which are wonderful.
Yes.
But people live here and we want to have a lifestyle as well. And we have a great lifestyle here. So I really wanted to capture that as well as bringing fashion inspiration in terms of like capturing a wider audience too.
Well, you've done it. And I have to talk about some other influencers that we've had, and we will be revealing them as the weeks go on. Carrie Colbert, who
Love
is
her.
all about color. Yes, I see that you follow her. It's really interesting. Our influencer community is a tight-knit community of women helping women. It seems to be a lot of collaboration. Cup of Charisma, Jillian, you know
She's
her,
great,
right?
Such a talented writer.
Nicole, we had on from Lipstick and Brunch.
I know, I love her. One of the first bloggers I met.
It was because of her recommendation that I went to Fluff Bake Bar.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she has amazing dessert recommendations.
Oh my Lord. And now she's on a sugar-free kick. She's doing a sugar-free fast. Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh my God, how could you even do that with all these great dessert places that I was not aware of? When my husband and I went to Fluff Bake Bar and I got the Baked with Hate t-shirt. Do you know the story behind that?
No.
The owner, she private messaged me because I posted on my Instagram, Baked with Hate, what do you think about this?
Oh my God.
And she says the reason that occurred was from some hate mail that she got.
Oh my goodness.
Someone reviewed her saying how incredible her pastries were and her Nutter Butter and her cookies, but she is so mean. She's beyond mean. And he said, so maybe the secret to these incredible, delicious baked goods, maybe they're baked with hate. And
Oh
so
my
she turned
gosh.
it into Rebecca Mason, yeah. So she was like, okay, I'm going to turn lemons into lemonade. And she said, baked with hate. And it's the cutest T-shirt. I love it. It's now my favorite.
That's so funny.
So
Yeah,
neat stories that
smart.
happen
Yeah.
that we get to learn about each other. And my whole purpose with Houston Women is to just let our listeners, who are women and a lot of guys too, learn your story. And how did you become, you started out with a couple of followers and then 10 followers and then 50 followers. I mean, how did it start for you? Were you intimidated? Did you care? Did you know it was going to work?
Oh, I mean, I didn't know it was going to work. 5 years ago, if you told, because I did have like a very amateur blog like 7 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So obviously, if you told me that that you could be doing these great campaigns, and like I just worked with Guilt and was on their website in a campaign. And I'm like, if you told me that 5 years ago, off of Instagram and off of social media, I mean, no one would really believe it. Like, they think you're crazy. But that's what's so great about media, that everything's changing and evolving. And that's what I really like, that almost there is, you don't know 100% what you're going to do. And I think that's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. You just kind
Some
of go.
people, that makes them like really nervous or scared. A lot of people really like to have everything planned out, which my husband is like that. He's just like, he is planning like down the line for years to come. And I'm like, thank goodness you're in my life, because I'm like,
I'm
where are we going
freewheeling.
next?
Yeah. You do travel a lot. You do post a lot of pictures, off and about. I know you were gone for 6 weeks. Is that because of your blog? That you're traveling?
Some of it is due to my blog, and some of it is personal travel, in terms of I have the flexibility to travel and I can work from anywhere. So if I can, I choose to, especially now before having kids, just take advantage of that.
Right.
And yes, so the past 6 weeks, my husband was transitioning from one job to the next, and they're both very stressful jobs. So we decided to take like a nice break for him.
Yeah, yeah.
And we went to family in Florida and just relaxed, because he needed that.
Good.
And I need to take a break.
I'm thinking of kids, though, because the kids are going to be part of your social media, I'm sure, as well.
I always think about that. Oh, I mean,
you'll have beautiful kids, and I could see your mind going right now how you're going to position that firstborn picture.
Oh, gosh. I don't
know.
I know. I always struggle with that, because I think that there's a certain level of privacy that's really important. I do love, I don't know if you follow the Fashion Bug blog.
Fashion Bug?
Fashion Bug blog. Okay. She's not local.
Okay.
She is in London, and I love how she shares her family and her kids. It's like very chic and aspirational. And I just look at her, I'm like, when I have kids, I'd love to do this.
You look at these pictures, and honestly, it's like a beautiful Architectural Digest magazine.
Oh, thanks.
And we have access to it right there on our phone any time of day. And they are inspiring. And your outfits, I have to ask you about, and I always ask our ladies about your daily habits. You're in super duper shape. Not many of us would be lounging in a bikini on our Instagram. You do it so phenomenally well. What do you, are you on a special diet, or is this just, you're just one of those lucky ones with amazing genes?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I am lucky in terms of like certain genetics that, due to ballet, I have worked out for like the past 25 years of my life for like, 6 hours a day.
So it's just natural now.
And now due to that lifestyle, dancing, I am very aware of like eating healthy. I'm not so regimented that I'm like, oh, I'm on paleo, I'm on this, I'm on that. I just try to eat well, and I have eaten well for a long time. Like I never have soda. I cut soda out for like many years, and I just don't eat. I can't even drink a sugary drink anymore. Like, I will have burgers, like I will have pizza, like I can have, and it's weird. Maybe it's the Italian in me that's like, carbs are fine. Like I can have carbs,
but no soda. Yeah.
But the sugar really bothers me, and I just try to make healthy choices, like as many vegetables as I can. So it's just about generally balanced life, like the Greeks would have. Like everything has to be in balance, because I don't want to deprive myself either.
I hear that all the time. You just love reading about women who have found the secret. And it isn't about deprivation; it's about balance.
Yeah.
What about coffee?
I love coffee.
Okay, it's like
I start
first
my
thing in the morning.
day with coffee.
What's your favorite kind?
Oh gosh, in terms of brand, right now we just finished what is it called? Cuvee. It's out of Austin,
Okay.
I believe.
Like
That's
a
how you
brand that
spell-
you buy and
That's
you
the brand
make it
that I
at
buy. I
home?
always, I grind my beans and make it in a French press or in one of those pour overs with the little filter. My mom makes espresso. So whenever we're at her house, or whenever with my parents, we have espresso. And I'm trying to think, my favorite brand.
I mean, you drive through Starbucks every now and again when you're desperate, or
Yeah, I'll go to Starbucks is like the easy choice, right? Like if you're feeling like I don't want to make anything, I'm just gonna run over there and be bad.
But then you can go to Catalina and get some incredible.
Yes, we have great coffee.
We do have so many great.
Like I don't know if
places.
I can say Catalina's like really strong for me.
Is it too
like,
strong?
gives me, yeah,
you
there's a
find
lot of
different ones. There's Zila in the East End.
Oh, I
There's
need to
also
go.
Giant Leap, which is super strong for me. Ah Coffee. Bernie Sanders was there when he was in town. I can't even drink
Coffee?
that. AHA Ah Coffee. It's right by the
Coffee.
George R. Brown. I'm like, that is like, ooh.
Yeah.
It's like me taking a no dose. Way too
too much.
jacked for me. Yeah.
Oh gosh, we go to Cavo Coffee because that's close by
Cavo
us.
is very good.
Cavo comes to mind, and
See, Houston's
I like to make
changed
it
a lot.
too, though. I know, I love that coffee
We-
shops are popping up.
It used to be like Starbucks, and now you've got all these little private little coffee shops
I
coming
love that.
along.
It like almost used to like the opposite happen. I remember we used to have, or in Toronto, we used to have a lot of small coffee shops that were great, and you go to, and then they all disappeared because everyone was going to Starbucks. And now they're coming back. So I'm really happy.
So it's good that you came to Houston. What about your favorite restaurants to go to when you are
Man, I
eating
should
out?
have made a list because. when
Like I
have to,
always say, there's
recall
so many,
things.
but the one that you just keep going back to, you know, it's like your go-to.
I guess it depends what I'm looking for because I always want Asian food. So it's either like sushi or pho.
Right.
Because Sozo is so close, we'll go to Sozo Sushi like once a week. And we're like, we can't go to Sozo Sushi this much. Like we try and so like, no, not this week. We need to try something else. And I can't remember what pho place, but there are some great pho in
Midtown
town.
has
I
some
love
great.
ramen. There's like some new ramen places
ramen in
that I
Midtown?
keep being. Yes.
Right by Fluff Bake Bar.
Jinya, right? Is it called Jinya? Yes, that's the one. And then obviously like to go out and, have a nice dinner, like Steak 48, Toulouse, Le Colonial, like that whole area. That's super close to us as well. We're very much like, oh, how quick can we get there?
Yes, yes.
Kind of.
Can you walk? Are you taking cars all the time? I know, so many people want this to be a walking city, but it won't
to
be.
Walk.
I know.
I would
know.
love to walk. I'm like 3 blocks from River Oaks District, and if I try to walk there, I just like end up just like
I know. You look gross when you get
pouring in sweat. Maybe in the fall.
Yeah, that's so
In
good.
Toronto, I used to walk, take the subway.
Yeah.
Like everything. Like I didn't have a car. And yeah, I wished Houston could. That's what we're missing.
We live
That's
in
the
the
one
East
thing we're
End,
missing.
so I hop on Metro, and it'll just bring me
yeah.
right to the theater district. It's amazing. I
Oh,
just love it
really?
because I used to be in the suburbs, moved to the East End, and I'm just like, we just walk to Metro,
And
hop on
and it just takes you to the theater district.
Astros Theater District. Oh, so good.
Because I
George
see
R.
the train
Brown.
there, but
We take it a
I
lot.
have to drive to take the train.
I know.
So.
We just kind of walk from our yard and go. Yeah,
That's
it's pretty.
awesome.
It's really good. So we're making progress.
I know,
We
just
really
need to
are.
keep coming this
Yes,
way.
I know. It'll do it. It'll do it. They've got this big plan. Now, what
good.
about TV? So many of
Oh
you
my God.
motivated women do not have time for TV, although sometimes there's guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Are you a reader and not a TV person?
I know I love TV. I love binging Netflix shows. I'm trying to think of like the ones that I recently finished. I loved the Medici. I like the historical ones. Okay, so the Medici, the Borgias. I'm watching Outlander right now, and it's insane. I'm on. So that's the issue. Like you're kind of the only time I have to watch these shows I feel like I'm wasting time, so I'll try and be on the computer, and then you're like, wait, what's happening? And then you're like, what happened? And I don't, because sometimes you work at night too, so that'll happen a lot. And I love watching Friends at night and just falling asleep to Friends.
Yeah.
I need a happy show to go to sleep.
And Friends is going to come back. Can't wait to see that. It's
Is
going to
that
come back.
Are
It's
they-
true. And there's someone, they're
They're
even
filming?
hiring someone who is going to be watching the first episode. No, has to watch the last episodes of Friends for 25 hours straight. They're going to give him $1,000 to tweet that person. The person's just going to tweet their experience. And I don't know if Jennifer Aniston's coming back. I
Yeah.
don't know the details.
Oh my gosh.
But I just thought that would be kind of cool.
I thought it was just like, oh, we're celebrating the anniversary and there's going to be a
I
marathon.
think it's coming back.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh.
I don't know the
That
details,
would be
but
so
I thought
exciting.
I heard that internship relationship this morning. And I thought, now that would be kind of fun to do. Just
Yeah.
watch 25 hours of Friends and tweet about your experience, right?
I know. Like, how can I get that job?
Social media, it's incredible what social media has. How long, when you look at, and tell us where people can find you, because I want them to look at you right now on your Instagram.
Right. So my Instagram handle is my name, which is Chiara, Chiara, period, Casiraghi, Casiraghi. And I know that's a long handle.
But once you type it in, your computer will finish it. You'll be
Hopefully
able to find
it'll pull me up.
Yeah, and you say that you're very comfortable. You're very artistic in your poses. You love to have the fashion aspect. Sometimes you're talking. I love the one where it's 102 degrees outside, but you're wearing a cute sweater that you found in your closet because you pumped up your AC, and you're in these great looking shorts, and you've got beautiful legs. I was just like, it was just so natural, and it was just a nice little high.
Oh, great.
And yet it really made an impact on me.
Good. I'm so glad. It's nice to hear, like, also on the other side, like,
it
what the
wasn't like
message kind of is coming through. Exactly.
Profound, but it was beautiful, and it was just funny because a lot of us like to crank our AC in the heat and just be cold and put on a sweater.
Yeah. I love having sweaters around the house and just, like, comfortable things.
Yeah, well, being from Canada, I can imagine that you're obsessed with sweaters still. You haven't gotten rid of them. But did you think about that for hours, or did you just go? And where are you putting your camera? How did you do that?
So that's set up on a tripod, and it's just on our second bedroom. I had some, PR gifts that I was behind on sharing because I'd been away, and I just received them all, and I wanted to just, like, get on and say, hi, okay, this is, I have some PR gifts that I'm just going to show you and tell you about. But obviously I want to make it more relatable, and I'm being myself. So I don't know how else to, like, so that just kind of happens. Like, I just start talking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
I don't really plan when I'm, just going to set it. I just say, okay, I have to share these, or I want to share this, and I'm just going to talk, and let's see what happens.
Do you ever get nervous? Do you feel like doubt ever when you're posting these things? Or do you feel like I've made it to the point now where I'm okay with it, whatever?
No, I'm always reviewing my work. I think that it's really important. That's the only way you can grow, if you are somewhat, maybe doubt is not exactly the word, but I always, you critically review your work, just continue. Like, even in dance, you're always looking at yourself in the mirror.
Right.
What am I doing wrong? What can I make right? So I think that questioning, if it leads to growth, is really good. So I don't have a problem with, like, doubting or questioning things. Let's see, this worked out. Maybe I'll try a different way next time if I'm not getting a lot of responses from, one way of sharing this message.
Right.
And it's about experimenting, because I still feel a little bit, I don't know, sometimes I still feel shy talking to people. Just say, like, hey, I'm going to just, like, invade your space today and talk about almost nothing, but something substantial, I promise. So
that's a good caution to have in your mind.
Yeah.
So it makes you really appreciate your followers' time.
Right. Exactly. Like, I want to get on, when I get on there and take up people's time, I want it to be valuable. Like, that's the whole point. Like, is it valuable? Are people learning something? Are they entertained? Like, what are you giving them? Like, it's not about you, even though your face is always there, maybe in front of them. It is about your readers.
You've got a very unique look.
Oh, thanks.
You really do. A very unique look. And it seems like the fashion that you bring is not something typical. Where are you getting your clothes? Are they local? Are places sending you clothes? Because I know you like to share that with your followers.
Yeah. It's definitely a mix. And sometimes it just kind of ebbs and flows from different. Sometimes it's a lot of online. Sometimes it's more local or stores. I've worked with Neiman Marcus before as well. We shot, like, some amazing editorial content. And I have some brands that I just always work with throughout the year, and other stories. I'm wearing and other stories today. Like, I love this. So usually if I'm working with an online retailer, because so many people, like, are online, a lot of followers are online, it's a little bit easier to send them there, especially when I get questions like, where's this from? Where's this from? And that's not easily accessible, or the product isn't online. It can get a little frustrating for them, and you don't want, So a lot of the retailers are online. I like Verge Girl a lot. They're, like, a very, they're very attainable. Like, the price point is, like, great. And Other Stories is another great price point. I've noticed a lot of women really like to spend more on their bags and accessories, and then the clothes are a little bit more they don't always spend as much on the
Right,
clothing, especially
right.
if you're sometimes shopping like through an influencer or online. And so I really like to make sure, and a lot of my followers too are younger, so you want to make sure that things that you're showing them, it's more about taste than about how much you're spending. So if you are curating your wardrobe correctly, it almost doesn't really matter where you're shopping from if you have if you're buying the right pieces.
How did you get to be such a pro on figuring this out? Did someone help you, or is this just something that you figured out over the years by listening and responding to your followers' questions and comments?
Yeah,
Is it
so
that simple?
No, no. But in terms of learning what, like styling or learning
Your
social
whole
media?
philosophy
My whole
on
philosophy.
your postings. How to do it. Maybe what fashion you would, or a client that you would have, and say
Right.
no to this one, but yet this one will fit my target audience. You just seem very savvy about this.
Oh, no, it comes from a lot of, studies, like listening to a lot of experts in the field, listening to podcasts, listening to friends, influencers that are also in the same space as me. One of my friends, Flaunton Center, Tiffany, she moved away to New York.
Flaunt and Center.
Yeah, Flaunton Center. I love her. And she helped me a lot, like learning a lot of the ropes when I wanted to really transition more full time, because she was doing it full time. So she answered a lot of questions and then she was wonderful and has helped me out a lot. So there's like a lot of, especially when it comes to like the Instagram blogging world, because she was like
So good at it, right?
very good at it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And still is. So definitely just having a good group of friends, peers that are willing to share information and that you both share and, kind of learn from one another and learn what works. And even if it's like a recommendation for a podcast,
Right.
be like, oh, listen to this podcast, like this number, or here's the link. They talked about algorithm and, talking to your client or talking to your audience and how to do things organically. And
What
and all of
podcast
that.
would you recommend if we were to?
I really like
some of your favorites.
Well, right now I mainly have time to listen to A Drink with James because it's like 20 minutes and I'm part of 4.co, and he kind of gets on there and gives an update about what's going on in the influencer world and also his opinions. So
A Drink
with James. Yeah, he's the
What a
founder of
great-
4.co. So I get a lot
love
of
that.
I get a lot of collaborations from his agency. So I like to listen to and see what's going on like on their side, because he'll share like what's also going on the brand side and what brands are looking for.
That's amazing. What about hair? Your makeup? Is this all local? Do you have your special
I go
people?
to Studio A Salon. Go to David at Studio A Salon. He's great with blondes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he does a great job.
Yeah.
Your hair is just
I mean-
adorable. Makeup.
Makeup, I did it myself.
So you've learned. Have you ever
Oh,
done?
yeah.
I haven't looked to see if you've actually put makeup on your Instagram. Have you done
I
anything
have.
like
I
that?
posted beauty. I have posted a lot of skincare. I'm really into skincare and beauty gadgets. The makeup, I feel there are so many great people doing these like really insane, beauty tutorials.
Oh, amazing! I know.
So I'm not a makeup artist. I
You just
do
let
what
them
works on
do it?
my
Yeah,
face.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you have round eyes, like I could be like, this is how you do eyeliner for round eyes.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm happy to share. Like people will ask, like, where's your eyeliner from, or where's this, or where, how do you do this eyeshadow look? And I do get makeup, and I like to share it, but I'm not doing like the makeup YouTube tutorials that are like,
right. They're mind blowing.
Yeah, and they're just,
honestly,
like-
they are. Like the
like
face
doing
looks
their
totally different when they're done.
yeah,
right?
like
Yours is the
transformations.
same. I bet
My face
without
looks
makeup,
the same for
you're
the
pretty
most
good.
part.
I have to. Did you ever get? I can see with your beauty Instagram and the pictures and the poses. Did you ever get like a wacky question? Is there something that just kind of blew your mind and you go, "Oh my God!" Like, was there ever some weird request or anything that you've had, or have your followers been really tame and just like, "Oh yeah, this is great," because this can really affect our self-esteem.
Yeah.
If you're doing a beauty type.
I've definitely gotten I'm trying to remember. I barely remember. A while ago, because it's the funniest one, because I've gotten, but I don't remember exactly what they said. But the funniest one that I do remember is one person wrote to me just under a comment, and I feel like it was just a random troll.
Yeah.
And they wrote, "Your face looks so twerked up from all the plastic surgery." And I was like,
Oh my God!
I was like, okay.
well, I'll
And I
take that
looked
as
at
a
the photo
compliment.
and I was like, I think I look good, so that's fine. I'm not getting work done, so
Did you
maybe
say
it looks
to your
like
husband?
I spent a lot of money.
That's what I was going to say. If I look like I've had plastic surgery and I haven't, then I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I'm like, you saved a lot of money, apparently.
That is amazing.
But,
Well, you've got the right attitude. You got to get that thick skin in this business.
Oh, for sure. And I
know?
think that hearing a lot of, let's say, criticisms from your dance teachers that that are more truthful, maybe than like random people online. You develop a thick skin when you hear
we're
like,
set up for this.
You're not doing well, like you suck today, what happened? So I mean, I've heard criticism my whole life. Like if someone says something to me, I probably know that already. So I'm like, yeah,
tell me something new.
Yeah. I probably know.
What does your husband think about all this?
Oh, he likes it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever you've included him a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Do you think it's weird? Does he?
No, I like to respect his privacy. Like he doesn't want to be filmed and like be on like these silly stories and be made to look like,
the perfect husband.
Yeah, or the perfect husband, or because he's so funny, and I wish I could like tape him when he's being funny. But then, that's our moment.
Right.
And I just feel like I wish I could share him because like I love him and I'm like, I want to share you. You're so great. But he likes that I'm doing it, and he's very supportive on that, on like the quiet side. He's not about being like the center of attention, or like he's focused on his job. He's like really into what he's doing, and he just wants to like go that way and succeed that way. He's not like climbing aboard and
wants to be
getting involved and be like, oh, let me get into
There are some husbands who love that. It's just you just
That's
have to.
Great. I mean, everybody has their own personality, and he's just like a different personality in that and
you respect that.
He loves to watch social media. I mean, he loves to he watches like all his favorite football players on Instagram, and like he likes to be a part of it and likes to see other people. He likes to see my friends' stories too, like what they're doing. But he's just maybe, I don't want to say shy because he's not shy. He's just
reserved. Yeah. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just it's so good to meet you. And when you look at someone in their stories, I mean, you really are that person. I don't feel like there's a different person in the room. And I've noticed that with all of our influencers, more genuine, authentic. Mm-hmm. You leave a little vulnerability out there, but you also know to step away. It's time to step away sometimes.
Yeah.
Like how many hours do you think you spend a day on this?
Pretty much like a full-time job.
Really?
Yeah, like thinking, even just mentally when you think about it. I was working last night, sending emails at 10 o'clock. So it's one of those things that never shuts off because I will get emails for collaborations like almost at any time. Sometimes they're automated as well through some systems, through some agencies. And even creating content, like sometimes you have to do it on the weekend.
Right.
Sometimes that's the only, so.
We've learned
it really is round the clock sometimes, other than sleeping.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian and all the Kardashian girls, and we've learned through that because of the number of followers determines how much money they're getting paid per post. Mm-hmm. And so you get up to those ridiculous numbers. Mm-hmm. But for you, I mean, this is a job. This is a job that pays you a salary based on your posts. And how long has it taken you to get to this point where you can live off this?
Probably consistently for the past year, like starting, I'm trying to think, when it was 2 years. It's been 2 years that I've been, consistently making money, and that's been growing and, resulting in more collaborations and
that's amazing.
More work. Yeah.
Don't you feel so proud of yourself
I am.
Nothing?
Of course. Well,
you've grown this. It's like starting a company.
It's from a small business.
2 customers. Yeah.
It's absolutely a small business that we're all business owners. Everyone that has a blog and is working on, even if they're not getting paid right away, like, because when anybody starts a business, like, are you selling your products right away? No, there's like a huge period of just marketing and getting your name out there and then finally getting customers. So,
all right. With that, I have to ask you one last question. Right. When you were feeling like this isn't going to work, how did you keep yourself going? Did you have a mantra? Did you do something? Did you have a happy place? What kept you going to get to this point and finally succeed?
I think maybe analyzing like the content, seeing like the first thing would be inner reflection, seeing what am I doing? Is something that I am doing maybe isn't working, maybe it's not going as far, resonating? Is it something technical in terms of like specifically maybe Instagram? Sometimes when people say like the algorithm, like this and that, and or maybe if your post isn't ranking on hashtags, like you, so in a reflection, like you need to figure out what you can, where you can improve.
Okay.
Because if you just keep doing the same thing, like maybe your audience is getting bored, or maybe, yeah, maybe they're not resonating with your content anymore and you need to evolve. Then there would be, I'm trying to think another downtime, like maybe if work is getting a little slower, like brands are not just emailing you or reaching out to you first, then that's when you start implementing like the strategy of reaching out more. Because I have waited, I'm not like a huge pitcher, like I do not, which a lot of people do swear by pitching a ton,
bringing like
to
a media kit to a company. Yeah,
absolutely. And emailing and just like kind of cold pitching. And I don't like to cold pitch. I prefer to like, warm pitch. Like you get a product, you show that you like it, and then you like, hey, I would love to work with you guys because I like you guys already. But some people just like cold pitch, which is great. And it's something that I would love to do more of, like coming up. But I was used to getting a lot more like people coming to me and wanting to work with me. And that's usually who I like to work with, people that see my content and they say, we would like you to check us out and see if there's something going there. Because I think that's a little bit more
it's
organic.
very genuine. Yeah.
And genuine, exactly. And so then it would be implementing like a new strategy of, getting more clients or getting more collaborations that way, or yeah, and then also listening to maybe some new podcasts and figuring out what's going on.
Just to keep yourself inspired.
Yeah, and then realizing that it's really what I'm doing, like fashion and beauty and Instagram, blogging. Like I like to do it. I would do it regardless if people probably were reading. Like I really love it. It probably wouldn't be my full-time job, but it would be, I would be doing it amateurly for sure. So I'm just happy that I'm here. I'm like, I'm living a great life. Fashion is fun. Fashion is not super serious. Like, so it's just
good.
Something, just being positive.
As an athlete, I have to ask you this. Local celebrities.
Oh, gosh.
Who are your favorites? We had one influencer say, no one, not really anyone. Anyone in Houston that just makes you go, wow, I just love Houston because of this person.
Oh, I didn't know that Mario Lopez's sister lived here.
I didn't know that.
She does. She goes to Studio A Salon, I saw her at Studio A Salon, so I was like, that's cool.
Actually,
like,
I did a show with him once, and he did mention that his family was
nice.
here. Oh, he's perfect.
Yeah.
He's like,
really
he's
him.
perfect. The guy is perfect.
Yeah,
okay,
actually,
well, that's good.
And, I forgot to mention, like, I also am an editor of a magazine, and we had him on the cover, so...
Wow.
Yeah, Mario's like so great.
Yeah, he's perfect, man.
JJ Watt,
of
right?
Course.
Everyone
yes.
loves. I think he's the biggest one that I can think of.
I'm reading his book now, The Talent Code. It's not his book. It's his favorite book, and it's called The Talent Code. Talent is grown, not born. And it's all about practice.
Yeah.
And you being a ballerina probably spent countless hours practicing to be an overnight success, which took 20 years, right?
Yeah, what is it? It takes 10 years to be an overnight success?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
that's
cool.
great.
It's a great book. It's just so, it just makes you like, you don't have to be a genius. You can start today, practice a lot, and become amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
That's great.
Really cool.
I know, it makes me want to learn something new. Like, ooh, what can I
That's
do
what
in the
I'm
next
thinking. Since I've been sitting in a wheelchair, I'm like, what am I doing different? I will not watch TV until my husband gets home. I only read books all afternoon now, and that's been the book that I've been reading this week. So hopefully after this wheelchair thing is over, I will become like a whole new person. I don't know.
What's your next?
I don't know. I'm going to train like an athlete, and who knows, maybe I'll become a ballerina.
Yeah.
I'll just practice all the time.
There's open classes at Uptown Dance Theater.
Wouldn't that
like
be
for
so
adults?
fun?
That's where I go to, stay in shape, in ballet kind of shape.
Ballet kind of shape. You never know.
Yeah, I still
Chiara,
take
I
open
might
classes.
do that.
Yeah,
I might do that. Well, you are just a delight.
Thanks.
We have had more fun just finding out about incredible Houston women who are rocking this city and making it even more beautiful with all you do.
Great.
So
Thank you for having me.
We so appreciate it. And I can't wait to see your latest pictures, and your adorable linen dress that you're wearing is beautiful. And what's the brand again?
This one is And Other Stories.
Local or online?
They're online.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's perfect. You're just a delight. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
It's great meeting you.